Good morning once again, book lovers of the internet. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am Book Nerd 802, and in this video, I am going to be reviewing this book called The Bunker Diary by Kevin Brooks.
It had been quite some time since I finished the book and just stared emptily um, at a wall because I just couldn't comprehend um, how I was feeling necessarily. Honestly, the way this ended was so abrupt, so tragic, so depressing, and yeah, I wanted some closure, which we never got. And yeah, honestly, the main character didn't get much closure either. And yeah, we are both the character and the captor in the story. I will explain further on. But yeah, it is the sort of book which, once I finished, left me feeling so hollow. And honestly, I needed a bit of a break from anything else. I couldn't just immediately pick up another book and get cracking. I just needed to think about what actually happened in this and what the implications of the conclusion were. That is how fantastic I found this book to be. More on that in a few seconds.
I will definitely be giving this author another try sometime in the future. This one consists of about 260 pages, and I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. You can take a look at my review on Goodreads. I will leave a link down in the description below, much like I do with every other review on the channel. So I read most of this one whilst I was in France, but I bought it all the way in the Waterstones outlet in Wales in Llandudno, and my first thought upon completing this, and excuse the language over here, but my first thought upon finishing this one was, what the fuck have I just read? So yeah, I mean, this felt like a solid mix of The Maze Runner and I Who Have Never Known Men. Um, the basic premise is that six people are kidnapped and put in a bunker, and they are all kidnapped in different ways. There will be a couple of spoilers ahead, by the way, so yeah, you've been warned. The main character, a 16-year-old called Linus, writes about his experience there, and we are basically put in his shoes completely. His experiences become our experiences. There is no dramatic irony whatsoever. We do not know more than he does. What he knows, we know. And sometimes he even gatekeeps information from us because he worries that we might be the person who is holding him and the people with him hostage, which only adds to how cool the concept is. So this basically just spirals into utter hopelessness and despair, and calling it open ended would not do it justice. Now, I have seen a couple of reviews on Goodreads, and many people were complaining that the ending left them completely unsatisfied and even disappointed. In my case, I completely understand why it had to end that way. There was so much despair going on. And yeah, after a couple of days of not eating anything, of losing all hope, of every human right being taken away from you little by little, um, yeah, to the point where you have to resort to eating pages from a Bible. Yeah, one can understand why another wouldn't really want to write anymore, or why one would just die, I suppose. But yeah, we aren't really given a solid conclusion, and we have to draw all the conclusions ourselves as the readers. So Linus also has a way of breaking the fourth wall, almost as though he is somehow aware that at any point his diary might be taken from him and read by who knows how many strangers. So, yeah, I mean, the person holding them captive does have a way of gassing them and changing things to the room or doing things which um, are usually not so humane to them. I will not really elaborate, I'll just leave it there just for you to be suspenseful and want to read the book. So, yeah, I mean, this was very depressing and extremely memorable, and overall a very quick read. And it's quite a shame that we'll perhaps never know what happened to Linus, although it is rather easy to draw a conclusion, despite the fact that there might be many ways of how this concluded after all. I mean, it did end in tragedy regardless. So maybe we'll be told the remainder of the story from his father's perspective, and yet at the same time, his father might never find out what happened to his own son. I mean, they weren't really close to begin with. Linus just ran away because he didn't feel like he belonged anywhere. And yeah, he never really had that close a connection with his father. So yeah, Linus lived through way more than 16 years than any kid his age ever should, and Jenny, a girl younger than Linus, suffered a worse fate. So yeah, there are many questions that are never answered because Linus doesn't have the answers himself. And as I mentioned, there is no dramatic irony. There isn't anything the readers know that Linus doesn't. And if anything, Linus holds the cards. Perhaps he knows more than we do as the readers because he even gatekeeps information from the person holding him captive. And we are both the prisoner and the person holding them captive at the same time, in a way. So, yeah, just pure suspense throughout, yet, even how the story ends is left for us to decipher. So, in a way, such a writing style made this a very immersive read, and I was even rooting for the characters since neither of them deserved to be treated in such a way, despite how some of them behaved during their stay in the bunker, and how some of their lives were described by Linus at any given point in the story. I mean, some of them did give the impression that they might have been horrible people, but none of them deserved to be treated in such a way. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, all hope is sucked away by the end of the read as the characters despair and just resort to violent measures to the point where they even start harming themselves just to escape the agony of not knowing what is going to happen, not knowing whether they will live or they will die, not having good conditions to live in. So I don't blame them for becoming mentally deranged or developing illnesses when they're treated in such a way. Some of the characters already had illnesses, and yeah, I mean, it's interesting how the man upstairs is referred to as he with a capital H. Yeah, I noticed that straight away because during the characters' stay in the bunker, he is basically their god. He controls everything they do, and when they do not behave, they are punished. They are conditioned into doing whatever he wills, doing his bidding, basically, despite how many times they try to escape. So, yeah, they are punished for attempting an escape in a context where they are continually observed and listened to. And a frightening situation to find oneself in, I'm sure. But what is most crazy to me is how long Linus managed to survive despite all he went through. I mean, even though so much happened to all the characters, this is definitely a tale of perseverance despite how it ends in tragedy, unarguably. So, yeah, make sure to never eat a Bible, by the way, despite how hungry you might be. And yeah, it will give you severe stomach cramps and a lot of pain for many hours, apparently. So, one thing which the narrator did not elaborate on was how two characters were killed and yet nobody was freed, despite what he promised. And just another point with regard to the Bible, I suppose that the Bible is what will give you stomach cramps. Any other book is probably fine, by the way. So, yeah, the messages are never explained because the man upstairs sends messages through an elevator. That is the way he communicates with his um, hostages. And yeah, he did not live up to his promise. So perhaps that was when they should have realized that he would not be coming back. We are never told what happened to their captor either. And yeah, I won't consider these as spoilers as such since they're mainly my speculations. The way Linus was captured was when he met this person pretending to be blind who told him to walk into his van and crawl all the way to the back. I mean, that is something that I found to be very, very unrealistic. I wouldn't have expected Linus to be such a stupid person. He should have known better considering how he comes across during the remainder of his diary. So, yeah, I mean, he's definitely not that gullible. And yeah, to just climb into a stranger's van and scoot all the way to the back, that just did not come across as realistic to me. And um, yeah, it just came across as strange considering how much of a clever individual Linus is during the rest of his diary. I mean, he's the one writing everything, by the way. He is our narrator. We have to trust whatever he says. Um, Yet, I guess we'll never be given any more context, and that's just how abruptly it ended. But yeah, that is all I had to say about The Bunker Diary by Kevin Brooks. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Take a look at the rest of my content because why not? It's absolutely amazing. If you read this book, Let me know what you think of it down below in the comment section. I will reply to every single comment, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully very, very soon. Bye, guys.